It's an emergency. We had to jump on here and talk about the latest development in the Kim and Kroy ongoing divorce. Whew, holy cow. I came across that video late last night, and I found it super, super triggering because I grew up in a household like that. My stepfather's clothes were always on the front lawn in broad daylight, and it was just always embarrassing. And there were always screaming fights in the middle of the night. I grew up in a very small town of 16,000 people, but I was only 8 miles from Manhattan. So it was like the weirdest juxtaposition ever. Like closest to one of the greatest cities in the world, yet literally in a weird small town. So naturally, my family was like always the topic of gossip in our town. And it was mortifying. So when I watched the video last night and I saw Kroy just like absolutely losing his mind, I felt so bad for the little kids because the cop, Kroy was like, "You're not even supposed to be here." And the cop was like, "Well, your kids called us." So, and Kroy was like, "What kid? What kid?" Well, the cop obviously isn't going to say, this one or this one. And I wonder, the kids have to feel like in the middle of this, obviously. No matter what we think about Kim, she is Delulu Choo Choo, like left the station, isn't coming back. We know that, but she is also still their mother. And these kids only have ever known her as their primary maternal figure. The grandparents on both sides don't talk to the kids. So these kids must be feeling terrified. Their house is going to get taken away. Their parents are getting a divorce. It's not, apparently Kroy said that they don't even have money to rent an apartment. And that just breaks my heart for them. It's going to be so jarring for those kids to go from that kind of lifestyle to probably whatever kind of, like, I live in a friggin' apartment, but to them, it's an apartment is an abomination because they're coming from a beautiful mansion. So I get it. But Kroy was just screaming at the top of his lungs at the cop saying, our life is destroyed. Our life is over. Kim was in her Range Rover SUV. I don't know where Brielle was. I don't know where Ariana was. Now, we all know that Kim was super strict with Ariana. Ariana must be like, you guys are such bullshit artists because you were so strict with me and you guys couldn't even keep your own shit together. So I feel like Ariana, she's always been the smart one, but I feel like Ariana is like distancing herself from the family. You could look through her Instagram posts, and Brielle literally said on one of her posts, "Was I even there?" Like on her birthday post, she was like, "Was I even there?" So I guess Ariana isn't posting her mom or posting Brielle, which is really sad because they all were super, super close. I have a very complicated relationship with the women in my family, so I very much understand the nuances of what they're going through and loyalties and, who's married to who or who's in a relationship with who and who, all of that stuff, and optics and what kind of life do you want to have? I totally understand. So my heart goes out to Ariana and Brielle, but mostly the 4 little kids. Because Ariana and Brielle already had a fucked up childhood. So this is just kind of another day in the life of Kim Zolciak for those girls. But for the little kids, they had a mom and a dad and a house. And so I have a feeling it's going to be way harder for the little kids to pivot. And people always say, oh, kids are resilient, kids are resilient. Kids are resilient. Everyone is resilient when you're going through the trauma. You don't see, really? You don't see the effects of the trauma until you're out of the situation 10 years down the road you know, so yes, kids are resilient, but kids are also easily damaged. I feel bad for them. The things that Kroy was saying, he's just like, she's sleeping with everybody else. She's sleeping with other men. One day we're getting divorced. The next day we're not getting divorced. We don't have, he said, the home is going. There's no money. We're losing the house. She doesn't know how to solve problems. So I think that Kim has probably just been like, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Because in the manifestation community, what you think about, you bring about. And she probably doesn't want to think about all the terrible things that are stacking up against her. And she did just go get her hair done that day. How does she pay for those things? I don't even want to know. It's not my business, but since you're a public figure, it kind of is our business. Come here. They're so crazy. So I just feel terrible. I feel terrible. What else did Kroy say? You could go and watch the video. I posted a TikTok of it and I had the video up on my TikTok and then I got flagged for a community violation. So I took the video. Well, the video was taken off for me. I didn't really have a choice. And, but you can go and watch the video. Apparently in Georgia, it is public, like the part of the public domain. So you can go and get the body cam footage from the police officers. The other cop was yelling at Kroy, and, you know, I understand that Kroy's at his wit's end, but Kroy, adding like lawyer's fees for maybe like misbehaving around cops or anything like that, Kroy, that is going to get you so much further in the hole. So even though Kim is messing with his head, at this point, he's got to say, you know what? I know that there's a lot of like legal nuances to this and why they probably aren't moving out of their house and why they haven't like physically separated yet. So I'm sure that it has to do with how they're filing paperwork. But at this point, whatever paperwork you're filing, it doesn't even matter if something horrible is going to be the outcome of you two staying in the same house together. He seemed so distraught, the screaming, like you could tell he has hit his breaking point. And I don't want to say that anything negative is going to happen because I don't want that to be, you know, what these kids have to live through. My neighbor downstairs is screaming. He's a new neighbor and he's a fucking lunatic because he was screaming the other morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. Fuck. And I was like, what? Bro, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you screaming at? Come here. Come to mommy. So I'm dealing with my own Kroy being written downstairs, okay? And Kim was in the Range Rover and she's crying. Shut up, Kim. Those are crocodile tears. Like, I was thinking about it the other day and I was thinking like, yes, we had Jen Shaw. Like, yes, we've had Luann got arrested, but really in the Bravo verse, there's never been anything like violent. You know what I mean? And so I was just like watching the video thinking this'll be the one. What do you guys think? Do you think that well, obviously Kim and Kroy are not working it out. There's no way. And I wonder when he said, she says, sometimes we're getting a divorce, sometimes we're not. Like, does he want to stay with her and she's the one who's saying, we're getting a divorce, we're staying together, we're getting a divorce? Like, I want to know, because if I were him, I would be out of there so fast. Those kids would be in the back of the Escalade and you would just see dust. I'd be out. I'd be peeling the fuck out. I don't know if she's got like some sort of witchcrafty spell on him, but I hope he gets out okay. I really do. And a lot of people are like defending Kim. What are you defending? What are you defending? She's so delusional in like in a personally offensive way. She's like she just completely has no regard for anyone but her hair and her nails. Like, girl, learn how to do your nails at home. Learn how to do your highlights at home. Like, learn at this stage in the game, the fact that she's going to get her hair done, I couldn't believe it. So that is what I think the fight was about. I think the fight was about her going and getting her hair done. She probably charged it on a credit card. Kroy was like, I got the alert. This is alleged. I don't know, but this is just my speculation. I wonder if Kroy was like, I got an alert. You just spent $1,000 on your hair or $2,000 on your hair. Kim, we have no money. We're losing our house. What happened to the foreclosure? Wasn't the foreclosure like in the beginning of December? What happened with that? Somebody keeps saving her ass, but you know, they're not going to be able to do that forever. I really hope that they turn it around. Not to say get back together, but I hope that they turn it around in a way where they can just be civil and peaceful and figure out a way to separate themselves and their finances, and you know, the kids won't be pitted against each parent, because that it's just going to be so horrible for them in the long run to have to deal with that emotional. Like, it's like when Gage said to Monroe, if you walk down the red carpet, it's going to affect our relationship. She's 7. She's 7. And she wants to go with her dad to his premiere. Like, what? So I just feel like Kim and Kroy are so immature. I wouldn't put it past them for them to talk badly about the other person around the kids. Do you have to talk to your cat? Come here. I had to learn a whole different language. She just wants to have a conversation 24/7. She started crying at 3:30 in the morning. I went to bed at like 8. She started crying at 3:30 in the morning. She wanted her food, but because she's so smart, I can't reinforce her bad habits. Like, if I don't open the sliding door for her quick enough after she's eaten her breakfast in the morning so she could go get her fresh air, she will jump in my plants and kick all the dirt out of my plants and then go sit at the door and wait for me to slide it open. So I've been putting, like, if you could only see what's in my planter right now, I have books all in the planter so she can't jump onto it. And if I don't get up at 3:30 in the morning to feed her, which I'm not giving in to her, she'll go and she'll flick the door stopper so loud. Boing, boing, boing. She used to do it at the one in my bedroom, but then I would close the door and she was like, no, I'm going to make her walk all the way to the front of the apartment and flick the door stopper at the front of the apartment. So she is so smart. Come here. Leave your sister alone. Did you just, what kind of little, and then she scratched me. She scratched me this morning. She bit my hair. She pulled it. She bit right here and she pulled it. So sometimes I'll like pull her cheek hair. She doesn't even give a shit. Stop it. She's crazy. So it's just wild. It's wild. So I had to jump on here. I had to just like quick touch base with all of you guys. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Do you think they're going to be able to separate amicably? Do you think that they're going to drag the kids into it? Please bring Kim back on Real Housewives or give her a spinoff. Like, I don't understand why Bravo discontinued her show and isn't like jumping at the opportunity to film this, because this is better than any Real Housewives. Well, this is better than like OC, boring. Love Beverly Hills. I could like do without Salt Lake City. If I had to eliminate those two shows in order to get a Kim and Kroy divorce special, sign me the fuck up. Like, I want to see. It's crazy. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.